Hello and welcome back to the Jessica Pinili podcast. Different setting. I am in one of my friend's room in the villa that I'm staying at. She has the better Wi-Fi, the better lighting. She has the desk. We're also joined, if you can see on YouTube, her friend, her dog. I guess who's also her friend. But this is the first podcast episode that I am recording in Bali, and I thought I would use my wired headphones. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the audio is okay for you guys, because the AirPods, I find they don't give the crispiest sound, and the wired headphones a bit up. So that's that. But of course, I still want to record podcasts whilst I'm here. And yeah, it's been like just under a week since I got here. I feel like it's been very go, go, go. But last night I was actually doing a huge reflection on the past couple months. I feel the past couple months for me has been very, very social. I'm like in full, I want to get back into my work monk mode, swing of things when it comes to the business, when it comes to my clients. I feel like I've just had a lot of socializing, which is amazing. And I'm so grateful, but I'm also fucking exhausted. As I'm sure you can imagine, with going home for Christmas and New Year's, also getting back, moving apartment, coming here, being social. This weekend is a social weekend. So this week I'm like, business, that's all I want to do, that's all I want to focus on. But it's nice to be back. I've have found today has been the first day since arriving that I'm actually grounding myself and taking each moment as it comes, which is nice. I don't have my angel cards on me. I think I bought some, I just cannot remember, but I was like in flow, ready to kind of get recording. So I was like, I'm not going to break that flow, because sometimes I break that flow and then it's like 5 hours later and I haven't recorded. But I feel that what I'm about to speak about for this podcast episode, I've been having conversations, a lot of my TikTok, some in my DMs on Instagram. So I think this is kind of probably going to be a collective message. But I really want to speak about what it means to kind of step into the energy and the feeling of what you want to bring into your life. I think that an element that a lot of people miss is like two main elements. I mean, there's 100, but two main elements when it comes to solidifying the dream reality. So right now, I just want you to start to envision what that dream reality is, what you want to bring into your life. If it's the money, the business, the career, the relationship, whatever it may be, the materialistic items. And we know that, and I speak about it so often, and it's a big part of my curriculum that I teach all of my clients. The subconscious reprogramming is absolutely key when it comes to changing your life and being able to get to the root of what's happening. Now, on that, I really want you to start to think about, how am I feeling every single day? How am I feeling into the energy of what I desire? And this is probably something you're probably listening, you're not new to personal development, you're not new to self-help stuff, but I really want you to get so honest with yourself about what that feeling actually is, if you were to have what you are currently trying to manifest, what you were trying to bring into your life. Do not ever underestimate the feeling and the energy behind your desires versus the energy and the feeling behind your current reality. Now, if you think about the 24 hours that we have in a day, right? Let's just wipe away 8 hours of average sleeping time. Then you wake up and maybe I hope that you have started to implement a morning meditation, a visualization, and tapping in. We know that when we wake up and when we go to sleep, it's the two most powerful times to really visualize a different life and feel into and feed into the subconscious mind what we desire. Because, and if you don't know this, the subconscious mind actually doesn't know what is true and what is false. And when you are waking up and you're in that sleepy state, the frequencies, just to keep it really, really simple, the frequencies are so much easier to impress on. And so the subconscious mind is going to take that on a lot easier than as if it's lunchtime and you've already started your day. You've already thought maybe 20,000 thoughts already. Maybe something bad is happen to lower your frequency, maybe your mood, whatever it may be. So morning and night. Now, going back to what I was sharing with you, we have 24 hours in the day. Take away on average 8 hours of sleep. And then you look at maybe 5 to 10 minutes in the morning of you doing your morning meditation, 5 to 10 minutes at nighttime. That's 20 minutes in total. Now start to think about the rest of your day, how you're filling up your day, whether you are working on your business, whether you are going to your corporate job, whatever type of job that you have. Maybe you're also a stay-at-home mom. The point is, think about what you're doing, how you just get on with life. Most of the time, you're probably unconscious to what you're doing. Even if, and like I definitely am guilty of this, like I love the business I've created. I love the lifestyle I've created. I mean, I'm in freaking Bali just because I can be. I don't just have to come for a weekend to celebrate my friend. I thought, fuck it. Why don't I come for a couple more weeks and I can work here and I can just be in a different environment. So I I'm so grateful that this is my life, but also I become unconscious in what I do day to day. So for you, start to think, what are you unconsciously doing? What are you unconsciously thinking? What starts to creep in as you're walking, as you're driving, as you're working, as you're doing housework, as you're just sitting there? Maybe you are scrolling on TikTok and it's been 2 hours. What are you numbing from? And then maybe you have a conversation with a friend or a family member, or maybe in your workplace. What is the conversation about? Is the conversation serving you, or is the conversation gossiping, moaning, complaining? And I was actually thinking about today, your environment is so powerful, and the conversations that you have. I had a conversation with a friend who lives in Bali. She runs her own business, she's doing amazing things, and it was a very expansive conversation. It was a very energetic conversation, a very inspiring conversation. And within the same hour, I had a conversation with a friend back in Perth, and the conversation was more low vibrational. It wasn't expansive, it wasn't inspiring. And unconsciously, I invited that in. This isn't to bitch and moan about my friend, absolutely not. But I'm just sharing with you that sometimes we fall into these unconscious patterns. So in the same hour, you would notice my frequency is higher. I'm having more expansive thoughts. I'm thinking, yes, I'm an expansive being. I can create the reality I want. And then in the exact same hour, I kind of go down into the low vibration. And then I start thinking in a lower vibration. I start maybe feeling fatigued physically. I start feeling overwhelmed or anxious. I then start going into this spiral of maybe negative thoughts, right? And this is just me giving you an idea of what happens when we go about our day to day, very unconscious. And then maybe it's the evening now, you've had dinner and you've gone through your day and you're scrolling on TikTok again, you're going through the motions, but maybe you come across one very inspiring TikTok, or maybe you watch a YouTube video, and let's say that's 5 minutes, and you start to get very inspired again, and you start to light up, and you start to think of all the great things that can happen in your life. And then we swipe away from that TikTok or that YouTube video, and we start to consume and rinse and repeat. Get to bed, we have a visualization meditation, and then it's the next day. Why I share this with you is because this is how most of our days go, right? Of course, there's key differences, but maybe in all of that, there was probably about 20 minutes of inspiration and good feeling, like higher vibrational feeling, what I perceive as good feeling in that, of moving towards the reality I desire. So, can you see that you can start to do the subconscious reprogramming? But if you're also not on top of that, being very mindful of what your feelings are and what you are allowing to happen on a subconscious front and then into a conscious front every single moment of your life, yes, every single moment, then you can start to fall into these patterns that aren't serving you. And it can feel like what you want to bring into your life is this constant uphill struggle. And I've been having these conversations and I've been thinking about it a lot, because I think this podcast episode is also a reminder to myself. What am I unconsciously doing throughout the day that is not serving me? I can do all this inner work. I can start to reprogram. I can start to even think differently. But if my feeling is still low vibrational, or my feeling is still lack, or my feeling is still overwhelming anxiety, majority of the time, which most with the conversations I'm having, this is what's happening, then something needs to change. Something needs to be done differently, or else it's going to continue bringing and attracting the same reality. This is why I see so many women who will actually feel like they're doing so much of the inner work, but nothing substantial has changed. because that they're missing that feeling, they're missing tapping into that majority of the day. So if you're listening to this, you're like, okay, that's all well and good. What do I do? Honestly, you might not like to hear this answer, but you need to become more conscious of how you're feeling throughout the day. Like actually consciously choose what you are feeling. And within that, start to reverse engineer. So if what I'm choosing right now, is that going to bring me into the feeling that I truly desire and that I want to live? Because if you go back and you think about what you truly want in life and the reality you want to live, and you start to think of what are the feelings attached to that, the expansiveness, the abundance, the rich, the happy, the joy, the love, the gratefulness, that those are the feelings that you need to start feeling now, and need to start programming not only your mind but your body to feel like these are safe, to feel that you can feel these majority of the time and that it's okay, and we don't need to cancel them out by doing something low vibrational, by over consuming, or by bitching and moaning and complaining, or by binge eating or binge drinking, or whatever the low vibrational activity is. We don't need to go cancel it out because it doesn't feel safe. The more that we prime ourselves with the things we want to feel safe, the easier it becomes. And I know that all of this may be something that seems so obvious to do, but most of the time we don't do it. And I guarantee if you actually tracked your day for the rest of the day when you're listening to this, or if you're listening to this at night, start to be conscious and track it tomorrow, you will actually notice the how much you are unconscious. You will actually notice, no matter how much work you've done, no matter how many years you've been doing personal development work, just notice what are the things you are doing unconsciously. And yeah, does it take a lot of effort? Of course. Because imagine if we thought about every single movement and every single thing we did and thought every single day, we would be sleeping 24/7. It would be that exhausting. But it's the big things. If you end the day and you're feeling the same, or nothing has quite moved, or you end the week and the results are the same, and you haven't moved the needle in your business or your career, your relationships, your finances, it is because, yeah, you may be doing the programming, you may be listening to these podcast episodes, following my stuff on social media, but you aren't also taking the time to think, how would I feel if I had this? And how can I tap into this feeling now? And if you're listening, you're like, well, you know what, Jess, I'm poor. I don't have the business I want, or I hate my job, or I have been trying to date and attract the relationship that I desire for months or maybe years. What I will say to that is, I get it, because I was there. I was there for years myself. Not days, not months. I was there for years myself. I would play into the victim mentality myself. So I completely get it. But I had to think differently and I had to feel differently about who I was. I really had to find the things, the small moments of joy, and not restrict myself. And I don't mean go put yourself into debt, or go to spend money to make yourself feel better. No, everything needs to be aligned. Everything needs to be authentic to where you're moving towards. But I mean, you really need to start to think, if your current habits and your current routine aren't bringing you, in your conversations and the environments you're in aren't bringing you into the state that you ideally desire for your desires, then why are you doing it? Why is something not changing? And that can be very blunt advice. It's like, I've had friends complain to me about their jobs for years. And it got to the point where I'm like, just quit your job, do something else. Oh, but I can't, it's too hard. Yeah, you can. You quite literally can. Stop telling yourself you cannot do something, and then you justify it with excuses, or you justify why you need to stay longer. No, it's you can't expect the different results if you're going to keep doing the same thing. Just like you cannot expect all the work you've been doing to actually work if every single day you feel shit about yourself, if every single day you feel shit about your reality, if every single day, instead of feeling abundant and expansive and doing things to tap into that, you feel low vibrational, you're complaining, you're moaning, you're gossiping, you're doing things just because you've always done them, and you're just not getting excited about life anymore. You cannot do that to yourself anymore. You cannot do it. So even though you may be sitting here and this may be a hard pill to swallow, I promise you, swallow the hard pill, take a big drink of water, and start to think, well, what am I doing consciously every single day? From the moment I wake up, from when I have breakfast to when I get to work, when I start work, when I go on my walk, when I see my friends, the conversations I'm having. Even, if you're like, okay, but I live at home, I'm not moving out. Okay, what can you do to change up your environment in your bedroom? Has it been the same for the past 6 years? Switch it up. Get yourself a new quilt cover. Get yourself like a new candle. Like do things that are expansive every day. And that doesn't mean you need to spend money every day, by the way. You can tap into that feeling of expansiveness in different ways, reading books, listening to things, taking the action, doing something creative for your inner child, painting, drawing, playing with clay, whatever it may be. Find that, not once a week, but every single day. And so the main theme and the main thing that I want to bring you for this episode is start to become very conscious about how you are feeling when you wake up in the middle of your day, when you go to sleep, and everywhere in between, because that is going to be the most powerful thing that you can do. And I'm going to leave it there. But if you have watched this and you have enjoyed this and you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. It really helps my channel. If you were listening to this, I would absolutely love it if you could leave a 5-star review. It helps me so much. It pushes it out to so many different people among the entire world. It just warms my heart when I see different places all over the world listening to the podcast. And I appreciate every single one of you that are watching here on YouTube, every single one of you that are listening here on your phone, in your car, on your hot girl walk. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope that this has given you a different perspective on how you can be doing things. I will speak to you next episode. Bye.